Hey guys, Nova Bushida here and welcome back to the channel. And today we got a different topic. I'm going to be talking about no games this time, not my son or anything like that. I'm going to be talking about a bit of Star Wars because I'm a big Star Wars fan and I'm being hyped today after watching Book of Boba. Book of Boba episode 6. Now, whew, I'm really happy, man. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a freaking good mood because that episode was fantastic. I don't know. I mean, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched it. Um, or anything like that. But yeah, I just love Star Wars. I've always loved Star Wars. Just a brief history of me and Star Wars. I mean, I started watching Star Wars back when I was young, probably like 7. Starting with the prequels, then watched the sequels. Not the sequels actually, technically the original trilogy. Um, Loved them both. Played the games when I was young. Battlefront 2, Star Wars Republic Commando, the Clone Wars. Then watching Star Wars, the Clone Wars TV show, my favorite part of Star Wars altogether. Fantastic stuff, I love it. Yeah, man, I just love Star Wars in general, and it was so cool. This episode 6. I know Book of Boba so far has been a bit of hit and miss. Some parts have been amazing. More that's the thing. It hasn't been amazing. Like before these two last episodes, 5 and 6, the series has just been average to boring, basically. Like it hasn't been good or amazing. It's just been okay. Oh, well, this is kind of lame. Which is a bit sad because Boba's such an iconic character. Me myself, I don't love Boba in himself, but I do recognize that he's a really cool bounty hunter and he's a really cool character for people. So it's a shame that he hasn't really lived up to what people expect. It's not even just that. So the story around him, even if you don't look to Boba as being this amazing character from the past, just the story they were telling was just wasn't interesting, and there was a bit of inconsistencies as well, which is a bit strange. But enough of that. We're on for today's episode. The last 2 episodes have been fantastic. The last episode I'll say was good. This one was like top tier. Like it was incredible. But I just have to say, once again, I can't even continue now without saying this. It's just a bit sad that all the episodes without Boba being the main character in his own series are the best episodes. Like, what the hell? Like, the writers need to get. I don't know what they're doing. It's just terrible. But yeah, today's episode, see Mando. His interaction with Ahsoka again. That was really cool. I love Ahsoka from Clone Wars. He's one of my favorite characters from Clone Wars. Um, to see him, he wanted to see Grogu, to see him not actually go through what he wanted to do, which was good. I think he needs to separate from Grogu for a while, until he's at least older, But the thing is, Grogu's such a, even Luke hinted to it, like Grogu's race, they lived for so long. Like Yoda lived until like I think it was 900 or 850. He lived around those ages. So like he lived so long. So by the time he's matured and he's finished his training, I don't know how long his training is going to take. Maybe it'll only take, the traditional, I don't know, like 10, 15 years, 20 years. But, I mean, you're always training, but, like, after that, then what? Is he going to meet up with him? I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously not. In the series, they're going to meet up eventually. If it's in the next episode or in some episodes later to see. But it was really cool to see Mando and his interactions with the characters. It was good to see Grogu and Luke. Luke training Grogu similar to who was trained by Yoda. I mean, that's the only method of training he knows, right? He's only been trained by one master, Yoda. Or Yoda being one of the best masters there were, but they didn't really train for as long as traditionally you would have been trained as a Jedi, and definitely as a youngling. Since Luke was in his late teens, I believe, maybe early adult. Maybe he was like early 20s. I don't know his actual age um in the Empire Strikes Back. But yeah, no, it was really cool to see the training and to see some actually progression between Grogu understanding more about the Force, even if it's very little of his understanding. I think it was really cool to see. And yeah, this is what training looks like. When I start thinking about episode 8, and the training in that one was terrible. It was absolute dog crap. This is more of the training we want to see. People love to see good training sessions. Like to see someone grow, it's amazing. Definitely when they're struggling, they're learning and they're going along. Like it's really cool. And that's one of the things I loved about Anakin, and definitely during the Clone Wars, as you seen him well, you don't see him being trained in that. You see that sometimes some bits in the movie, but seeing him actually train his own Padawan Ahsoka, and the progression between them and also more people in the series. That's why I love the Clone Wars in general. The Clone Wars is so fantastic. Luke was done very well in this episode. The animation was good. Everything was good for him. His lines, his movement, everything. And people were a bit worried about the last part of this episode when he talked about he made Grogu make a decision, either the lightsaber or the Mandalorian armor. People saying this isn't in character with Luke from after he saved his father. But I mean, these are different situations. I mean, like, I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. Like Luke, maybe now he's understood that attachments are important, but it depends how attached you're attached to. I believe, like I think now Jedi should be like, yeah, attachments are acceptable, but you have to be careful of how attached you are to the people you are dealing with. Like, yeah, you have to be ready to let them go. You can't dwell on the past as humans do, and it's true. Humans do dwell on attaching to people, and they can't do much without that person, or they feel daunted when that person isn't there. So some ability to detach yourself from the world and to focus on yourself and your surroundings is important, as well as being able to communicate and attach with other people. I mean, if you think about the Clone Wars, the show, and the prequels, like the Jedi say they're not attached. You know, they're free of attachment, but no, they're attached to the Jedi way. They're attached to the Jedi culture. They're attached to the temples where they grew up. They're Padawans. They're fellow Jedi masters. Everyone, like, they're attached. It's so evident in the fact that when they're riding their starfighters, they ride the same starfighter. They might have a particular symbol for that starfighter because they're attached to that starfighter, and that's like that's machinery. So of course you're gonna get attached. Like, I don't want to go too much into that, but yeah, I mean, it's like Jedi of old were always attached, but I guess how much they acknowledge their attachments and how much they feed into it is something different, right? And I see Luke probably wants to see what Grogu will pick as more of a test to see where his mind is at, rather than, you know, forcing him to just choose one or the other. But maybe in Grogu's point, well, in the situation with Grogu, maybe it's important for him to choose. I mean, because if he's choosing the Mandalorian, I mean, he could choose both. But if he's choosing, like, he can't focus on becoming a Jedi, he needs to focus on being a Mandalorian. That's, you know, Jedi is a full-time thing. It's really difficult. So, you know, you have to dedicate at least a lot of time to becoming one. But I guess we'll see how that goes. But continuing from then, I mean, the story in this the whole story and the way things played out in this episode was fantastic. I loved it. I loved seeing Cad Bane, like freaking Cad Bane. Like, I was watching a watch party with my friend, and as soon as he saw the guy in the background, he's like, "That's Cad Bane." And I was thinking, is that? I mean, that could be Cad Bane, but I was like, well, why would it be Cad Bane? And I was thinking in my mind, he could be working for the Pipes, but as soon as, like, my friend pretty much said, yeah, that's Cad Bane, I'm like, oh damn, that could be that is Cad Bane. What the hell? Like, that was pretty damn sick, man. Myself, I'm not a big Cad Bane fan, not because he's not a great character. I think he's a fantastic, it's super cool character, one of the best assassin mercenaries in the whole series. Is deadly. Like, he rivals things like Boba Fett or Jango Fett, rather, but both actually. But the beef I have with Bane is that Cad Bane is all the trouble he gave the Jedi and the clones, man, and back in the Clone Wars. I was like, oh man, you gave so much trouble, man. Like, why? But Cad Bane was cool, man. Like, definitely, I think season 4, him and his interactions with Obi-Wan, was so good. It was so good. Obi-Wan beat his ass though, but yeah, it was good, man. It was good. Oh man, I love Star Wars, man. Definitely at its best, man. It just brings me, like, it makes me happy, man. It just makes me insightful. It just makes me want to see more, you know. Seeing Ahsoka talking about Luke, reminding her of his father. I mean, Anakin's one of my favorite characters of all time. I love Anakin. So, like, it makes me sad, man. Definitely when you start to see the Order 66 scene, like, oh man, that it just gets to me every time, man. It just makes me feel pain because I'm like, my clone boys, man. I love the clones. I love them. Like, they just had. It wasn't their fault, man. They had to do it. It wasn't their fault. It was programmed into their mind. Some of them could resist it, but some of them they just couldn't, man. So it's rough. It is rough, man. It hurts, man. It hurts. Seeing things like that. So yeah, man. Next week's gonna be the last episode, and it sucks because like these last two episodes have been ranged from good to like freaking fantastic, and next one hopefully is gonna be brilliant as well. But I don't know what they were thinking with the first three episodes. Like it's just like fair enough if you want to, you're trying to explain the plot, you're trying to introduce things to the world, but at least do it in an interesting way. The way they were doing it, it's still so back and forth between the past and the future, and what's actually happening, and the situation of the stories between the characters and how the characters are acting. Like in the first place, I don't like the story plot of Boba being a crime lord in the first place. I don't think it fits his personality in the past or the present. Like it's not really him. It's not him. So I think they're trying to mold him. I mean, I know they're trying to mold him for this position, and I just don't think it works. I do not think it works. Maybe ideally, I'm thinking they're trying to make it so that he's trying to, because of the people who saved him, the Sand people who saved him, he's trying to become the daimyo so he can, give them land and give them freedom, which is fair enough. But that as a plot line in the first place, I don't think it's a good plot line for Boba, in the sense that I don't think his personality fits it. Like he's normally, I'm only seeing him more as a solo guy, more as, he's doing his own thing, not really like a part of a group like that. I know he's learned to become a part of a group like that, and I can understand it in the context of the story, but as a story premise itself, I don't think it really works in general. It's just a bit of the shame, because I think this series had much more potential, but in the end, it didn't. It's not reached that. But these last couple episodes have been good. Episode 4 was okay. It had its ups and downs. I actually liked it, but some parts were really weird. Like the fact Boba was looking for his armor, even though he crawled out of the monster with his armor on, but he thought the monster had his armor, which is I don't know. That's a bit strange. It's really strange. Yeah, I mean, maybe they're just trying to show that Boba's getting old and he's not really thinking right. I don't know. Because the episodes about Boba have been the best ones, which is a bit sad. I don't even know where they go forward with Boba. Next episode probably is going to be Boba's last. I don't think we're going to see Boba in Mandalorian Season 3, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it sucks. For people who love Boba, I think Boba's okay. Not my favorite, but I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, guys, I mean, if you're not interested in Star Wars, sorry for rambling on about Star Wars. I mean, I love Star Wars. It's one of my favorite series. But if you are interested in Star Wars, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to make any more videos. I mean, it depends on next week's episode. If it's that hype or that disappointing, I'll probably talk about it. If it's just like in the middle, then I probably won't talk about it. Because I'll just be like, okay, yes, it was alright. But if it's like really good, I've got to be here to talk about it. If it's really bad, I'm like, oh man, a bit disappointing. But yeah, this one was fucking great, man. If I was gonna rate it, I don't really like to rate stuff, but if I was gonna rate it, I'd probably say like a 9.8, man. It was fantastic. There's not much. I don't think there's anything really bad with this episode. Like people might say there's a lot of fan service, but they're just tying in different parts of Star Wars for a compelling story, and that's what Star Wars is. Star Wars is a fucking galaxy, mate, of so many stories from so many different eras with so many different characters. Like, of course, there's going to be some fan service. Like, it's impossible to create a good Star Wars anything without some fan service, because everything is fan service. A new cruiser is fan service. Clones are fan service. Like, you're going to be proving someone's fan service in some ways. If they brought a clone into the series somehow, I'll be like, fucking hell, this is fucking great. I mean, maybe it might not make sense in this time in the timeline, but I'll be like, fucking hell, fucking clone. So like, some of these people who just talk about fan service, just shut the fuck up. You should be trying to please your fan, but also with great stories. It shouldn't be, we need to create a story that fans won't expect. They may not like, but it's new. No, that's not how storytelling should be. It should be, okay, we need to create a really good story that's enjoyable, that follows on, that flows correctly, but also fans will love. Like, brilliant. Brilliant. Because you can have the most original thing in the world, but if no one likes it, it ain't going nowhere. So, yeah, man. But that's it for me for today's video. This is quite a long one, honestly. I didn't expect it to be like 15, 16 minutes. So, but yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. See you.